Happy spring, my little love nuggets. Yes, it's spring in the Northern Hemisphere. I am very happy. I am very excited because this means winter is over and it can go back to hell where it belongs, in my not so humble opinion. Anyway, so happy that it is spring today. So first day of spring, I was like, okay, what do I want to do for a video today? And this week, I think it was a couple days ago, I had this kind of thought popped into my head and then my brain ran with it because that's what my brain does. And what it is, it's talking about sort of the spring cleaning. And don't click off, don't be afraid. I'm not talking about cleaning, although I will talk about it a tiny bit. But stay with me because this is good. You're not going to be expecting what's coming out here. Okay, so let's get into it. When we talk about spring and the newness and the freshness of everything popping up, right? Like the winter it's the season of death, right? Like everything, the leaves fall off the tree, all the plants go to sleep and they die, and then they wake up in the spring. And then babies are born in the animal world and all that good stuff, which is lovely. And I think that it really does signify that spring is actually the beginning of the year. It's kind of the new year. Right? When you're coming into the equinox, when you're getting out of those wintry seasons from an astrology perspective, like going from Pisces into Aries. Aries is about action, let's go, let's move, whereas Pisces is more passive and reflective to a point, very dreamy, right? So what I was thinking about is, okay, so when a new year comes, right, a new beginning, a new fresh start, you think about New Year's Day. Well, I do anyway, right? So you think about New Year's Day and you make resolutions and you wipe the slate clean and all that stuff, right? And I do those things. Not so much resolutions, but the new year, if we talk January 1st, is a turnover for me. And it coincides with my birthday season because my birthday is January 11th. So to me, that is a very special day, not just because that's when I graced the world with my presence, but because it's the time for me to reflect and to plan. So this is what I was thinking about when we're talking about the spring starting and everything being fresh and anew. Okay, so let's just go a little bit into spring cleaning. Okay, and I'm going to talk a bit physical cleaning, and then we're going to talk about sort of emotional, mental, and even spiritual spring cleaning. All right, so I'm going to start with something that I kind of put off for a little bit. And okay, here's some of my street cred, just so you know. And this is a segue into the whole discussion we're going to have about, this is about, living your living your best life, right? So I'm a certified Feng Shui consultant, for those of you who don't know, and I use the Chinese compass method, which means every year at the Chinese New Year, which is usually end of January, beginning of February, I think it was February 10th this year, you have to go through and you have to do a little assessment of your home. And it really doesn't take that long, and there's just a couple of tweaks you have to make, but it's looking at the energy within the space, your home, the space you live in, and making sure that it's optimized for living your best life. That's what this channel is all about, right? Okay, so stay with me. I'm going somewhere with this. So when the New Year rollover for the Chinese New Year, which is what Feng Shui follows, did I get all my stuff done right on February 10th? No, I did it like last week, and now today is March 20th. So your girl is a little slow, but you know what? I'm human. That's the other thing about this channel. We're not all perfect. Neither am I. Okay? That's all of us. We all have our things. We all have our issues, right? Which is why we're here. We're going to figure out how to live our best lives. This is what it's about. So back to spring cleaning. In the Feng Shui world, keeping your house in an optimal energy flow is the goal of Feng Shui, basically. And I'm oversimplifying, but anyway, stay with me, okay? So what I put into one of my clients' packages, and I've done videos on this, I'm going to share on this channel too, probably within the next week or so, are tips about, from a feng shui perspective, what you can do without hiring a consultant, without having to spend any money, pretty much. And just go through this list of tips. There's 5. We're going to touch on them super quick, okay? 5 tips for getting your home in really good order. This is good energy flow in your space. Who doesn't want that? Everybody wants that. I don't care who you are. You want that good stuff. So the first thing is clear the clutter. I know everybody hates this one, and it ties into spring cleaning, right? Clear the clutter. If you have stuff piling up, if your surfaces are overloaded, clean your stuff up. Everything has a place. What is it? A place for everything and everything in its place. And if you want a good cleanup tip, that's a segue into one of the other things we're going to touch on, is don't put it down, put it away. So that way clutter doesn't build up. So the first thing is clear the clutter. Make sure your home is clutter free. And I'm talking every room, every closet, under the bed. Yeah, you heard me. Get into the corners and clean all this stuff out. So clear the clutter, number 1. Number 2, clean your house. Yeah, you have to clean it. You need to keep a clean house. Dirt is not good energy, not good chi. Clean your house. Number 2. Number 3, let in air and light. Open the curtains, open the doors and windows, especially if it's spring and you can actually open the doors and curtains if you live in a cold climate like I do, even for 5 minutes a day, just to let some fresh air in. Fresh air and light and sunshine make a world of difference in the energy within your home, in your space. So that's number 3. Number 4 is anything that is broken, unloved, unused, fix it or get rid of it, because that is just crappy, stagnant energy. Nobody wants that in their home. And the last one, it's a little bit weird. It's one that I came up with and I love so much, is thank your home, which sounds strange, but what does your home do for you, right? It protects you from the shelter, from the wind and the rain and the elements, it keeps you safe, right? Protects you from burglars and all that kind of stuff. And it's where you gather. It's where you gather in this safe little space. Well, it should be a safe space. That's a whole other topic. But number 5 is thank your home. Every now and then I do it. I'll go, aw, house, thanks for being so good to me. See, I just did it. I talk to my walls. I talk to my chandelier. I talk to inanimate stuff because you know what? It all has energy. So there you go. Now, that's sort of our spring cleaning from a physical perspective, but it does move the energy around and it really does help a lot. So the thing that I was thinking about earlier, I think it was this week, that sparked this idea for this video is, what about like your mental, your emotional, and your spiritual health and hygiene? There has to be some spring cleaning there too. And so like I was saying, on my birthday, that's the day I have chosen to kind of go through, do like a reconciliation of the previous year. Because like I said, it's easy for me because it kind of coincides with the new year, right? So what did last year look like? What went well? What didn't? What could I have done better? And then plans for this year. Okay, what do I want to focus on? What are my dreams, and wishes, and what do I aspire to do, be, or have in the year? So I do that exercise every year on my birthday. Now, if you aren't one who does that kind of thing, maybe you'll want to do it now as part of your spring cleaning. Anything that wasn't working, get rid of it. Anything that you think might work, you might want to adopt those styles, patterns, behaviors, thought processes, right? Bring all of that in. But you have to take stock in order to do that. If you're not taking stock before you bring stuff in, all you're doing is keeping old stagnant stuff and piling new stuff on top. Underneath is still that layer of maybe some stuff that you don't want. Do you see where I'm going with this? So I would invite you to try that. Take stock of things. And a great way to do it is your pros and cons list. The what's working and what isn't kind of a list going on. And another thing I would suggest is break it down into life categories. This is a very common thing in in life coaching, self-help, self-improvement kind of arenas, where you look at each area of your life, you break it down, and this way you can look at which areas of life you maybe want to focus on more. So let's say your finances are great, but your health hasn't been so good. Well, keep your finances where they are and be happy with that, and put more time into your health, right? Or maybe your relationships are good and you've got lots of friends and you're close to your family and you have an active social life. Maybe your finances aren't so great. So maybe this is where you need to put time and energy, right? So these are just a couple of tips, things to think about if you want to do your own personal spring cleaning. And there's another one bonus tip that I'm going to let you know about, and it's something that came to me this week. So when you're trying to decide what should I tackle first, right? So look at your life areas and pick one, probably one that you maybe want to work on right away. Now, how do you tackle it? That's a whole other thing, but jot down some ideas. And here's something I want to talk about. It's the concept of low-hanging fruit, because I've heard this all my life. Like, if you have a big thing to tackle and it's many steps and many processes or whatever, go for the low-hanging fruit, which means the easiest things, little things that you can pick off, do those first, and then you'll probably gain momentum. And I do think that is good advice. So keep that in mind when you're making your plans. But I will throw in something else, because sometimes when all you're doing is picking at the low-hanging fruit, that's the only progress that you make. It's the little things. Sometimes that doesn't allow you to get to the bigger things. So what I will say is, yes, you can focus on that low-hanging fruit, but also if there is a bigger goal, issue, obstacle, whatever you want to call it, that you really want to tackle, see if it links into other areas of life. So then you get a twofer, maybe a threefer, right? Like a 2-for-1. When you're, let's say, we'll pick on finances. So you want to work on your finances now, and there's a couple of things you can do. You know, you can get rid of Netflix and you can do all these little things, but then maybe there's a bigger goal in your finances that will also help your health, and it will also help your relationships, like putting aside money for retirement. You haven't been doing that and you decide to do that. Well, maybe that'll strengthen the relationship with your partner, your husband or wife, because you guys hadn't really talked about the future too much, and now you are. So you're getting closer and you're sharing more and you're being more vulnerable with each other. So this is something, it's kind of like a domino effect to other areas of your life. So if it's not a low-hanging fruit, it could just be something big that can cascade into the other areas of life, which is also another good tool to use. So I think I'm going to leave it there. I've been talking a lot. I didn't mean to talk this much, but get used to it. As soon as I say in a video, I'm going to keep this short. It's not going to be short. I talk a lot. It is what it is. Anyway, we're going to leave it there. So happy spring. I hope you all have a fabulous day. Whenever you're watching this, it doesn't matter. These are all good tips and tricks at any time in life. All right, we're going to leave it there. So take care. Oh, also get on my email list. Yes, email list. Click the link below, because that is where the magic happens. You're going to get notifications when I'm doing lives, specials, events, all kinds of stuff, and just hey from me kind of thing. And the people on my email list will get more stuff than anybody else. All right, we're leaving it there. I will see you in the next one. Bye for now.